Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gallant, and I handle partner relations and partnerships for Zoho Directory. And welcome to our enablement webinar on managing workforce identity with Zoho. This will be what we'll be covering today. In today's world, businesses use hundreds of applications. There are at least a dozen for each department. And the number of requests for new apps, password resets, and troubleshooting grows exponentially with each extra app. These are apps from a host of vendors, meaning that each of them needs to be vetted by legal as well as a security team before employees can be allowed to use them. And in recent times, employees have started using any interesting app or tool they find online. While some of these apps may be free for personal use, they are not for businesses. As a result, most businesses have had to cough up a hefty amount for these unauthorized users. So how do your customers manage their employee accounts with all these apps? We'll have a poll. We'll have a poll. You can vote in that poll now. And what we have seen is that in most of the organizations, it is the sysadmin who carries the burden of the app and account management. This is where the concept of workforce identity comes in. And I hope you have all voted in the poll. I know it's a pretty simple one. I'm pretty sure you know how these are managed. And speaking of workforce identity, what is it? A quick Google search will tell you that workforce IAM is a combination of employee authentication and permission management. So again, another quick question. How many of you have worked on IAM solutions? This is the next poll. I promise you there won't be too many. Just a couple more questions. I hope you have voted in the poll, made your choices. And yeah, workforce IAM solutions help businesses deal with app and employee problems that we are just discussing. What it essentially does is provide businesses with centralized control over their app portfolio and its users, of course. In this workforce identity space, we launched a product last year, Zoho Directory. Zoho Directory has existed even before its official launch. And we have been catering to the needs of customers, Zoho customers, on a case-to-case basis. What Zoho Directory does is reduces the burden on IT admins and put businesses in control of its apps and users. And over the years, we have been analyzing the requirements that we have come across, and we noticed a pattern. And here are the most common templates or aspects of requirements that we see. These should help you identify opportunities for Zoho Directory implementation. First, we have businesses that find it cumbersome to manage their large portfolio of applications. Second, businesses that are trying to make their employee onboarding easier and smoother. Third, businesses that are trying to secure themselves from bad actors. Fourth, businesses who want to manage their device access. Fifth, businesses that are mandated by local regulations. And last, businesses that are trying to address all of these. Let's look at them one by one and I'll show you how you can address them in the product as well. First template, the first template, they are keen on managing their applications centrally with an identity provider. We notice that there are three parts to it usually. The first part is adding their employees to Zoho Directory. You can add users manually by keying in the details as shown on the screen. It's a very straightforward affair. You can add custom fields, etc. And you're done. You have an employee added. But if you want to add multiple employees, you can import them and just from a CSV file and then map the fields. And then you're ready to go. Again, this is also a pretty easy task. The second part is they need to add relevant apps from our growing app catalog. Let me show you how. These are pre-built integrations that can be configured with just a few clicks. You can see on screen how we are adding an app from the catalog. And it's ready to use in just like that. Third, they have apps that are yet to be integrated with Zoho Directory. These apps are called custom apps, and they can be, with the help of SAML, OIDC, and other similar protocols, we can effortlessly add these apps also to Zoho Directory. What it means is that you can add almost any app to Zoho Directory, including customized apps that you might have built for your clients. And we are done, as you can see on screen. It's pretty quick, all the additions of apps and users. So we have added all the apps and users. Adding the apps and users is not enough, right? We need the right apps to be available to the right employee. This is the second common template of requirement. In larger organizations, numerous employees might join on the same day, and it is not scalable to assign apps to these employees manually. The sysadmins are looking at streamlining this onboarding process. When deploying ZD, sometimes they might want to use ZD as a single source of truth while maintaining their current systems. So Zoho Directory has a feature called Directory Stores, which helps ZD connect and sync data with their existing systems. Let's see how. Microsoft AD is quite popular, but it has one limitation that it cannot connect to cloud apps. So it is a very common requirement. And what you can do is you can download the AD sync tool from Zoho Directory, as you can see on screen, and just follow the instructions that are shown on the wizard. And you have AD connected with ZD. Similarly, you can also connect other sources of truth, as you can see on screen. We are adding Jump Cloud with via Skim. And we are also looking at adding more sources of truth, more in-demand applications that might be needed by our customers. And we will need your assistance in identifying more in-demand applications. And with these things, you can also obtain existing groups from them. Migration of data to ZD becomes easy. So how do we assign apps? Let me show you how you can assign an app to an employee. Again, this is just a couple of clicks, and you just enter the employee's name, and you can tag the employee. You can add multiple employees there. However, this is not scalable when you have to assign it to multiple employees, which is why we have groups. So adding apps to groups is pretty similar. Instead of individually adding them, add the team or role in which they are associated to. So you can assign an app that you might have added to your portfolio or your client's portfolio to an entire department, just like that. And conditional assignment. Conditional assignment feature makes it even easier. You can set certain criteria so that an app is added to a particular group or department, like adding a sales related app to the sales team. So what you can see on screen is we are setting criteria on who will get access to these apps. And it can also be role based. It need not be for a team or a department, but it can be based on a team. Based on a role also. And as we were doing it from the app, this is possible to add directly from the group as well. You can set conditions. You can actually set multiple criteria, as I'll just show you on screen. And so let's say the marketing team needs a marketing tool. We can add that tool to the marketing team, and it's done. So there is a feature that makes this even better: automatic provisioning. So anytime someone joins the department, they automatically get access to the apps that they are meant to that are meant for the department. The sysadmin need not manually create accounts in each app and share them with the employee. We were just assigning the apps earlier, but creation of the accounts is manually done. But here with auto provisioning, once you set up that initial connect with an app and Zoho Directory, the app profiles or the accounts are created for each employee automatically in that particular product. This addresses both the case of a joiner and a mover whose apps get reassigned as per his new team or role. An employee moving from a content writing role to a sales role will lose access to tools such as blogs, but he or she will be given access to tools such as CRM. Like adding apps to departments, it's fairly easy to remove them also. Just a few clicks. For example, if an app is found to pose a risk to the organization, this is a quick way to revoke access to all employees. Now the question on your mind is, what happens when an employee exits the firm? You can deactivate or deprovision with ease. When you deactivate an employee, they lose access to all the apps instantly. So it removes the vulnerability where a former employee still has access to business data and systems. Speaking of vulnerabilities, in this day and age, there is an increasing frequency of security breaches. Businesses need to fortify their defenses. This is the third template that we come across. Different applications will mandate different kinds of passwords, meaning that one app may not be as secure as the rest of them. And businesses are facing huge losses due to minor lapses. ZD, unlike some other products, allows you to configure multiple policies, providing department or group level control. So it is crucial for businesses to have a strong password policy across the board. ZD allows you to do just that. Password length, complexity, expiry, etc. can be set across applications for the whole organization from within ZD. Technically, ZD eliminates the need for individual passwords for apps. So it's just one password, one strong password for the whole app portfolio. Many industries such as banking, finance, and healthcare are mandating 2FA. With Zoho Directory, you can configure multi-factor authentication for your clients so that compromised passwords don't compromise the data. Again, this is my third poll. Please answer the poll that will pop up on your screen. Moving on, talking about security, further you can configure conditional access policies. Organizations can allow access only from safe or known IP addresses, such as the office network. To ensure that access is not allowed for prolonged periods, you can do web session management also, as shown on screen. In the future, we will be revamping our security policies to give admins more granular control. You will be able to restrict access based on on the device that the user is logging in from, or if you don't want employees to access apps outside of their shift or working hours, you can restrict that too. You'll also be able to set location-based restrictions by setting geofencing to allow access on campus or from a designated area or city. And please let us know if you have any other suggestions for what other restrictions or criteria, conditions that you think might be relevant for this feature. Workforce identity goes beyond applications and users. The users need computers to access these applications. This is the fourth requirement template that we see, especially among larger organizations. With Zoho Directory's device authentication feature, employees can access their Windows, Mac, and Linux devices using the same credentials they use for apps. We would like to think of it as one employee, one identity. Let's see how. Zoho Directory will install an agent on the user device that will have admin privileges. For Mac and Windows, these have to be downloaded and installed onto the devices to enroll them. While on Linux, you can copy a command from ZD and it can be executed in terminal. What you see on screen is how the agent is being installed. And once that agent is installed, the device can be tagged to the user, and the user will be able to log onto these devices using the credentials for the applications. And any changes that are made are synced by the agent as soon as the device connects to the internet. You can configure the settings for the device as per the client's needs. What you see on screen right now is the Zoho Directory account and employees logging in using the app credential or the Zoho Directory credential rather than the local account. So profile is created, and whatever changes you make, you can reset the password, you can remove access. So earlier we spoke about how when an employee exits, he loses access to all the applications. Similarly, when an employee account is deactivated, the user will automatically be disabled on the device as well. So an employee will not be able to log into the account on a local account on the device, or the Zoho Directory account on the device. So a glance at the features we have covered so far while discussing the four common templates. And we didn't talk about reports though. Zoho Directory also has an extensive reporting feature that helps you keep track of metrics such as successful logins, failed logins, etc. This will allow businesses to track patterns of usage and be alert about anomalies. And various reports that you see on screen also help ZD help firms during audits. We saw what directory is currently. We also mentioned that the idea is to have one identity for one employee. Our vision as a product is to be able to cover not just apps, users, and their computers, but also networks, printers, etc., to bring everything related to employee identity under a single umbrella. That is the vision of Zoho Directory. And in working towards this vision, we have these features on our roadmap. Audit logs are obviously vital for monitoring and compliance purposes. Device trust helps us improve security, while Radius allows us to bring networks into Zoho Directory's fold. And we have already discussed advanced conditional access policies earlier. IAM market is already big, and it is expected to grow even bigger at a rate of about 14% to reach $36 billion by 2030. That's a huge market. And of this huge market, the MA market alone is expected to be about $239 million in the next 2 years. While the market is growing, the security breaches are also growing. We have spoken about it earlier as well. The data breaches are becoming fairly common, and it's costing businesses more as years go by. An interesting pattern that has been that the cost of data breaches is the second highest in the Middle East after US. It's well above the global average as per IBM's cost of data breach report for last year. Even the previous year, if you see, there is a similar trend. Of these data breaches, 82% of them, a huge majority happened on the cloud. Maybe that indicates the prevalence of cloud applications. And almost half of them involved compromised credentials. And a whopping 60% involved web applications. This is exactly why workforce identity management solutions are vital to businesses. As per the State of SaaS 2023 report by Productive, a company on average uses 371 SaaS applications. The rise of cloud apps has led to the decline of legacy software, and thereby resulting in the growth of IDaaS players. The major concern has been the number of data breaches, obviously, making businesses vulnerable to malicious actors. With the rise in cloud apps, the scale of shadow IT at organizations has also grown. We mentioned this in the beginning of this presentation. This makes it more difficult for sysadmins. In recent years, we have seen a jump in flexible work modes and workforces, meaning it has become harder for businesses to have control of the data and systems. All these risks and the changing landscape have resulted in regulatory bodies taking note and coming up with more stringent compliance requirements globally. This is the fifth template of requirement that we have seen among businesses exploring ZD. Many regulations are mandating an identity solution to mitigate these risks and monitor activity across the organization. There is going to be yet another poll, and this is the last one on your screen. Please spare a moment to cast your vote. So these are the major players in the market. Microsoft has rebranded Azure AD to Entra ID recently. And what you see on screen are a few instances where Zoho Directory was implemented to meet the requirements of businesses globally. Unfortunately, we are not at liberty to disclose more details about these organizations, but please have a look at what they are using directory for. You might also be wondering about our pricing plans. Here it is. We have 3 pricing plans. One is obviously the free plan. And this is the monthly billing. And annual billing will give your clients a 15% discount on top of these plans. And you can go through in detail on our pricing page on the Zoho Directory site. The IDaaS space is dominated by a few players, and it is not easy to establish a new product. However, Zoho already has a market presence in most countries. And the IAM is a more technical space, which may deter many of your competing firms from even considering it. It also requires a different set of domain expertise that many of them may not possess. And once you implement a product like ZE, it is not easily replaced, as it is tied to their whole tech stack and possibly devices. A solution like Zoho Directory rewards you more as you spend more time with your client, as it is not a deploy and forget kind of product. There is scope for billing, for maintenance, and further configurations. Some of these might seem like a deterrent to you, but I will still ask you to consider Zoho Directory because we are here to support and train you as best as possible. Though Zoho Directory might be newly launched, it is built from Zoho's natively developed IAM framework. It has been around for over 18 years and handles 100 million plus identities of Zoho customers. This is a testament to its reliability. If you wait to sell Zoho Directory, you already have low-hanging fruits in the form of your existing client. And if you have implemented Zoho One, you might already be familiar with Directory. So what's next for you? I would highly recommend that you scan this QR code and register for an exclusive demo so that you can get a deeper dive into the product. This was a quick overview of what was available in Zoho Directory, but then there's a lot more to Directory than what I was able to show you now. And we will address all your queries during the demo. And once you've done that and you're convinced that you want to be a Zoho Directory partner, please write to us. We will then schedule a call with you and have a chat. And we'll see how to take it forward from there. We will train you on Zoho Directory and provide specific training based on your particular needs. And also, we'll be helping you with implementation in the initial stages. This is our promise to you.